How you doing, guys? This is Richie. Invisible Man. Universal Monsters. This is issue number 4. Artist Danny did the cover. I think this is the A cover. Yeah, cover A. James Tynion the fourth. Danny and Brad Simpson. Danny being the artist. Brad Simpson's the colorist. And Becca Carey is the letterer. So this is the final issue of the 4-part mini about the Invisible Man. We've done issues 1 through 3, if anybody wants to see. And it's more of almost like the memoirs of a madman. He says, he's been careful. My face was always covered in my dealings with Tommy. He did not know my name. He did not know where I lived. He's talking about the kid that he had locked up in his laboratory that he was, pushing the serum on. And the kid turned out to be invisible. And one day, because not only does it make you invisible, the serum, but it also makes you smarter. So the kid outwitted him, got out of his restraints, hit him over the head, and was able to escape. He thinks he took precautions, and there's no way that the kid would know where he lived or who his girlfriend was or anyone in his life. But, So he's real distant and cold to his girlfriend. The business relationship with his girlfriend's father is falling apart. He's diving deeper and deeper into madness. All in good time, Flora. That's a really nice looking panel. I like the way that's drawn out, all that line work. That's definitely interesting. You've been so jumpy these past months, you're always looking over your shoulder. Am I? Because he knows that kid is out there and he's invisible. Makes me wonder, what do you expect to see there? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Invisible Man, Chapter 4, At Last, the Great Wonderful Day. The art's good. It's not like mind-blowing, but it fits the story perfectly. And so they're kind of going over the story. I refuse to return to the room where I rendered the young man invisible. So he's staying away from that old lab. And he's just going over in his head what had already happened. The rat, the monkey, the cat that killed the monkey that was invisible. And he says, an invisible man was loose upon the world, and I am loosed him there. I decided at once that I would pause my experiments. Cranley's timeline for provable results was too much to bear. I would go back to my mundane chemistry. So now he's back to just regular, everyday work for the guy he worked for, whose name is Cranley. My formula worked. Slow doses of the correct combination over the course of a month rendered Tommy fully invisible. So now he's trying to put everything on paper. All his notes, he's trying to go back and rethink what he had done. He had asked for that woman's hand in marriage before the new year. So now, as Cranley's son-in-law, he wouldn't dare restrict my access to the necessary chemicals. I simply needed to be patient, which is hard to do when you're a psychopath, I would assume. But still, I was hard-pressed to think of what young Tommy might be up to. Surely he had been wrong to end up on those streets. I imagined him sneaking into the children's home that he had been raised in. So he's thinking like he went back and killed people who had done him wrong. Police officers, a former nun. he was free to do anything, to walk anywhere. And he says, I wasn't free. I was constrained by the paces of my ordinary life. So he's just going through the motions, pretending to be a normal human being. He goes, I have a note for you. He gets a note. Try not to burn this one. So Tommy's sending him notes, but I guess he's burning them. So he reads this one and he says, you have made me nothing, and so I too will make you nothing. I will take your life from you piece by piece, and there is nothing that you can do to stop me. Signed, Tommy. Poor Tommy, man. He really got the shit end of the stick. That issue, like, was creepy, man. That was uncomfortable. Like, seeing that kid. It's not like he was a little kid, but still, he was a teenager. Like, can you imagine being tortured and experimented on? He says, what do you mean by burn this one? Can't you smell the papers burning in the furnace? So Tommy had snuck in and burned all his notes, all my precise measurements, everything I learned in the experiments. A cruel and clever strike against me. But I had been planning on this moment, every waking moment, for months now. Tommy had given me too much time. He says, Jack, you clogged the flue. The room was filling up with smoke. If he had been standing there with me, he'd be visible in the smoke. So pretty smart. He's trying to catch him. Unobserved, I knew precisely what to do next. So he's been planning, thinking about how he could stop this invisible man, kid, boy, whatever you want to call him. To the room where I had slowly erased Tommy. That's funny that he would say that, erased him. It lay undisturbed as I knew it would be. I had continued to mail rent in over the month, so he's still paying the rent. There were no other rooms on my floor. I set to work scattering flour. So he threw flour all over the place, so you would see the footprints of anyone coming in or out. How angry he must have been to be outwitted by me once more. I'd like to imagine his rage and the recognition that he had been bested by me. So now it's two maniacs in a game of wits. Destroying my notes was the only real damage he had dealt against me, but I had time now. Time to reconstruct it all from memory as I recreated the circumstances of his transformation in myself. And day by day, the formula did its work. So he's gearing up. He's doing exactly what was done to the kid. So he's working on becoming invisible. He would retrace every place he had seen me walk these past months, and in time there would only be one more place to check, one place he knew I had been. This time he would not try to prolong my torture. So the kid's going in for the kill. If he found the opportunity, he must now understand that the only way to stop me was to kill me. And sure enough, he set him up. The kid's there. He set up a broom with his clothes on it, and the kid went in to strangle him. He throws flour on him, so now he's visible. And he says, hello, Tommy, it's good to see you. Smashes his head, chases him out into the winter. So Tommy's banging on people's doors. Help me, help me. And he said, what a foolish child you are, as he picks up a brick and brains him with it. You could have had the world. I gave it to you. You were clever enough to wriggle out of my grasp, and you could have done anything. You could have ruled the world. So the kid starts talking back. You're mad. I knew it from the start, but I know it all the more now. You think I felt powerful? Even when I was cast out on the street, I never felt so alone. So being invisible probably has a loneliness to it. You don't fit in. You can't, what do you tell people? Like, hey, look at me, I'm invisible. It's just a crazy position to be in. I saw things I never ought to have seen and took no pleasure in it. A damned half-life is what it is, Griffin. A no-life. You made me always apart. When I thought of how I'd get my vengeance on you, I thought about doing it all to you, but you need a soul to feel pain. So the kid's telling him basically he's soulless. He's got no feelings. You were always a monster, but you can't pretend anything. But now no human eyes will ever look on you tenderly again. So it's two invisible men arguing in the street. The only cure for what you've done is death. I've read your notes and understood them. There is no way back. So cure me and damn yourself to solitude. And he strangles him. Kid's dead. And as soon as he dies, he becomes visible again. He drags him out of the weather and leaves him in an alley. People find him. Yes, it began with the monocaine, a small experiment with an exotic chemical that would soon unlock unimagined power over the course of a year of experiments. I was now able to render a fully grown man invisible. I had replicated the experiment, perfected it, and I did it all alone. Wow. So now this woman's wondering, Jack, where are you? He's gone. He ain't coming back. Good for her. He ain't coming back. So here you go. You see him. I require lodging. There's an inn in town half a mile up the road. I think it's called Lion's Head. Be a rough trip in the mess, but it's doable. He says, I'll send for the rest of my things. The man goes, right. All that was left was an antidote, a way to regain my body. So already he's thinking about how can I get back to normal. Maybe he thinks he could invisible, normal, invisible, go back and forth, but true power would come when I could slip back and forth. Tommy was wrong. He was a simpleton, uneducated. He must be wrong. So he shows up at the Lion Head. I just needed time and solitude to piece it together. Death could not be the only answer. There must be a way back. And the very cool thing is, the old black and white movie, it starts right from here. So this was all a prequel. And if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you go check it out if you like this. Next, Phantom of the Opera is coming soon. I'm going to definitely pick that one up, and we'll take a look through that. And there's some of the artwork in there. It's real like a Dave McKean style. Painted. But man, what a great book. I think the best of all the Universal Monster series. Well written. The art fits the story. Great characters. I love that it's a prequel to the movie. Definitely check it out. If you see it, pick it up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.